Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back to the Side Hustler podcast. Y'all, I am so excited for today's episode because let me tell you, today we're doing something a little new, a little different, and that is a live social media audit. Y'all, I have actually been wanting to do this for a while now because honestly, I really enjoy doing them, but more so, I know so many of y'all can learn by just listening in and picking up on the tips and strategies that you can start applying to your own page today. So, in today's episode, we're going to be diving in a social media audit with Raquel. She is an amazing, super talented makeup artist and esthetician who does makeup, facials, brows, and she even sells her own skincare products. Y'all, I really enjoyed this call because it was my very first one live. But more than anything, it really reminded me why I started my business in the first place. And that is to help other women entrepreneurs show up online with confidence, with clarity, because so many amazing women, people like you, have amazing brands and businesses out there. And the reason many people don't know you exist is because some of you struggle with marketing and getting found. Now, I'm not going to give too much away, but we did some real work in this audit, especially around getting clear on her brand goals and making sure that her content and her messaging actually reflect those goals. Because when your page is confusing, potential clients will continue to scroll. And we don't want that. We want you to get booked and we want you to get found, okay? And listen, if you're tuning in and you're listening to this audit and you're thinking to myself, okay, yeah, I really need Carly to take a look at my page too. Don't worry, sis, I got you because I'm offering free social media audits exclusively just for my podcast listeners. Okay. These are not listed anywhere on my website. You cannot find them on my page. They're specifically only for my podcast listeners. And that's the only way you're going to find it is if you're listening to my episodes. Okay. But this is just my little way of giving back to you all for being a part of this community. And it's also another way for you to start marketing your brand and putting yourself out there and getting found by people that are interested in what you do. Okay. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you head over to cdcreativecoagency.com/audit to secure your audit spot today. All right, so let's get into this audit with Raquel. I know you guys are going to get so many gems for it, so let's get into it. Righty. Well, thank you so much, Rocky, for joining me today on the Side Hustler podcast. I'm so excited to have you. So before we get started, tell us a little bit about what you do, what your business is, and what services you offer.
Okay, so I am a licensed esthetician, but I'm known in the beauty industry as a makeup artist. I've been a makeup artist since 2005, but I'm currently transitioning into wanting to really get my skincare line and essentials off the ground and running. So right
Okay.
now I'm trying to focus more on like doing facials and talk to my clients about the importance of just a basic skincare so that when they come in for makeup, they have like, more smoother, more hydrated canvas.
Okay. Gotcha. And that's amazing.
Okay.
So my first question that I want to ask you are when you look at yourself 5 to 10 years from now, what do you see yourself being known as far as like in your industry? Or what is it that you want to be known as? So if someone says, Rocky, this is Rocky, and she is the best blank, what do you see yourself being known as?
Known as someone that is helping up and coming people in the beauty industry, just giving them some guidance and some insight on business, and just somebody that encourages women to take more time out for self-care and themselves, and the whole thing that less is more, like just really being comfortable with themselves, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So would you say that you can see yourself being like a business mentor for like beauty professionals or self-care professionals, people that are like offering skincare services, things of that sort?
Yes, because I really, another thing that I wanted to do was offer like a continued education type of school. That's why I do so much, because I'm working on perfecting that, so that at one point in time I can open up this school for continued education.
Okay. I love that. Okay. And then as of right now, what do you say is your biggest obstacle with marketing your business online or via social media?
Just really having it all make sense. Just coming up with ideas, just learning how to just record, or just knowing what to put out there. Because I've tried
Mhm.
different things and I'm just getting mixed reactions on the things that I do post. So I don't really know what to post.
Okay. Okay. So your biggest struggle is knowing what to post. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I kind of wanted to get I've already looked over your page and I kind of wanted to get into some notes that I made. So I want to first off start out by all of the things that you are like excelling in on socials. And so for the people that are listening to this episode, you can follow her at the Skin Lounge Baby Rocky, right? That's how you say that.
Skin Lounge by Rocky.
Oh, okay. It has an extra B here. Okay. So
Thank
the
you.
Skin Lounge by Rocky _. So the first thing that I want to talk about is your branding for your logo, and your profile image is like spot on. So I think that is super clean. I think it's super professional. It really just shows that you know, when someone is searching something, that's typically the first thing that they see is your profile image. And so I think that you having your logo is beautifully done. I think your logo looks phenomenal. Even, you know, it's
Thank you.
very clean. It's not busy. It's not anything. It has your brand colors. I can easily read it. The fonts are readable. So I think that you're doing that really well.
Okay.
Another thing is that I think you are doing well with having your website link in your bio, which that kind
Okay.
of sounds like, oh, well, aren't you supposed to? But a lot of people kind of struggle with having their websites, you know, there on their page. So when someone lands on your page, they already know that you already have your link of where they can book. They don't have to go searching or DMing you for the link. You already have it visible in your bio.
Okay.
Another thing that I wanted to tell you is that your video content, I feel like you are doing really well with utilizing reels on your page and not just so much focusing on like graphics and things. It's a mixture of graphics and video content. A lot of times we see people online that, you know, fall into that trap of just creating a whole bunch of graphics, and it doesn't really showcase like what they do or how they, you know, work with people or the services that they provide. Yeah, so your
Okay.
video content, I definitely think that you're doing a good job of integrating video content as well as photos. And then
Thank
also your highlights, which that is like one thing that I feel like a lot of people kind of always sleep on, is like having highlights. But not only just having highlights, you have highlights that are highlights that people actually want to see. So you have one for client reviews, you have one for your hybrid henna services, your cluster lashes, your ombre brows. So that's typically things that people want to see whenever they land on your page, because they
Okay.
want to see. Most of the time we create content on our stories, but being able to highlight it and show it in real time from a customer's perspective is always going to help your business stand out in the marketplace. So I think you're doing that amazingly as well.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, so let's get into some areas of improvement. So, for your profile name, so I know right now your profile name, when I'm talking about your profile name, I'm talking about the bolded part of your profile.
Okay.
So, in you have Nola Houston ATL Skin Lashes and Brows. So with that, that becomes a little bit confusing, because if somebody is looking to find someone in Houston, they're typically searching Houston. Or if somebody's looking in, you know, New Orleans, and they're looking for people in New Orleans. And so are you physically based in New Orleans and then you
Yes.
travel? Okay.
I'm based in New Orleans for travel. Yes.
Okay, so yeah. So I think that if you change your name to like Nola Brows and Makeup Artist, or Nola Skin Lounge, or something along that lines,
Okay.
that will help you to really be able to utilize your SEO, because when you have to think about what terms people search whenever they're looking for you, that's where
Okay.
you want to utilize those keywords as much as possible. And so I think changing it to like Nola Brows and Makeup Artist would be good. Or if you're wanting to focus more so on skincare, then I would do Nola Skincare Lounge, you know,
Okay.
in. And then also with the bio, so your bio, it has kind of the same thing that you have in your name, but you want to make sure that you're utilizing your bio to state clearly like exactly what you do, where you're based, and then if you do travel, and then also like the services that you know someone can book. I think when we think about someone that's specifically looking for a makeup artist, right? They're looking
Okay.
for someone that specializes in makeup. So I don't go to, you know, my esthetician and like hoping that she has makeup in her bio. So in your bio, whatever it is that you're wanting to be known for, and that's why I asked you the first question, the question about what is it that you want to be known for. And the first thing that you stated was like skincare, and really being able to, you know, help people get their skin together so that they can have these beautiful beautiful canvases for makeup application, right?
Okay.
Okay, so in the bio, I would more so focus on creating a bio that has something like New Orleans skincare, and then it could say something about like facials and makeup or whatever services that you are feeling compelled to. And we'll kind of get into that later, but I
Okay.
really want you to make sure that you're utilizing your bio and using keywords that people are searching. So if you're wanting to be known for skincare, make sure skincare is in your bio. If you're
Okay.
wanting to make sure that you're known for makeup, then make sure makeup is in there. But also all of the other things that you have, like the body oils and butters coming soon. I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like that's something that people are searching. So when
Okay.
you think about your bio, think about things that people are searching when they're looking for your services rather than just putting things in there to take up space, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
then the next thing, we talked about the location. So I would definitely say focus on targeting people that are in the New Orleans area. And then you could also just put in your bio that you also travel. So we'll
Okay.
travel for services or things of that sort. Instead of feeling like you have to put each and every location that you travel to. Because then
Okay.
it comes across like, okay, do you only travel to these places? Or
Okay.
are you where? Because then also the question becomes like, where are you based? Because when I first saw,
Right.
I was like, so where is she based? So I would
Okay.
say put specifically New Orleans in your bio, but then also you can put in there like that you travel for services as well.
Okay.
So we talked about the bio, we talked about the locations, and then we talked about SEO, which is basically the keywords that you'll need to mention. Now, also in your bio, you have a lot of different services that you provide. And all of these fall into like different categories. And so I wanted you to really think about like when it comes to going back to your goal, like what is your key offer or your main moneymaker or the service that really just like lights you up and brings you joy?
Selling skincare products. Having people come lay on the table and relax while I do the facial, and then being able to sell my products. That's really what I'm like, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're leaning more towards skincare. Do you find yourself having joy when you're doing makeup?
Yeah, I do, but I'm having more joy when somebody really gives me a great reaction opposed
Mm,
to when I'm actually doing it.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing I was gonna say is like in your services, if instead of like listing every single service that you offer, maybe like and this was me, auditing before I got on the call with you, but maybe if you offer like a signature package where you do like facials and makeup packages, or you could do like skincare and product packages. But you
Okay.
could find a way to like combine them because when I going back to what I was saying before, whenever I'm looking for like a Houston makeup artist, like I search Houston makeup artists and I expect like that's what they do, that's where they thrive. But then when I see like my makeup artist that's like, I do hair, I do nails, I do makeup, it's like, well, what are you like good at? Like, what are you known for? And
Right.
so when you think about like even the people that you get serviced by, like typically they are one of the people that are well known or not well known, but they are wanting to be known for a thing. And so if you're going back to your goal talking about that you want to be known as like the skincare self-care type of expert, then I would say probably focusing on the skincare and makeup would be really well for you, because then it also won't be confusing to people that land on your page on what services that you absolutely provide and that you are really, really good at. Because I feel like you're good at everything. Let me just say that. I'm looking at the brows, I'm looking at the makeup, I'm looking at the facials. I'm like, listen,
Brows. Thing
at it.
is, I don't want to like do the brows the whole time. I'm trying to use the brows as another stream of income so
I
I can
see.
continue to work on my product, if that
I
makes sense.
see. See.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, even if you offer the brows, I wouldn't make it as like a main
Gotcha.
your main message.
Okay.
If your sole focus is to be known for skincare and to be known for, facials, then I would make
Okay.
that your main message on your
Okay.
profile. So with that being said, in your bio, I would
Okay.
have
Thank
like
you.
yes, I would have like as the name, it would be like Nola, skincare and makeup artist. And then you can have something that says like same day appointments or travel for services or something of that sort. And then you can also
Okay.
on your second line have, shop our beauty essential products. So that way it
Okay.
tells people that you also have skincare products that you sell. And then the last line, I would put book your appointment now. That's your call to action, telling people that's what you want them to do next. So the first line
Okay.
will tell people what you do. The second line will kind of just like add to what you do. The third line will be to talk about your skincare products. And then the fourth line will be your call to action to book their appointment, and it'll lead them to your website.
Okay.
And then you already have your website in there, so that's good. And then the highlights, the only thing that I would say about the highlights is maybe you could add some highlight covers. Now this is optional, you don't necessarily have to, but I think that it would give like a really, really clean look if you could have like some highlight covers that match your logo. Or like even the photo, like this photo that you just posted a couple days ago, this one right here with the branding, I really like
Okay.
it. So if you could have
Thank you.
something like that as your highlight cover, that would be really, really nice.
I'll have to see how to do that. I don't even know how to do that, girl. I'm just getting into this social media stuff.
Yeah.
Cause like you said, it's just the way right now. So yeah. Okay, so I'll make sure I find out a way to do that.
Okay. And you can do that on Canva. Like even if you have just like the colors. So if you let me just show you what I have on mine. So like mine is just like my brand colors. Like nothing too crazy,
Okay.
you could definitely do that and just rotate
Okay.
your brand colors. That's super easy. But it just
Okay.
adds like a different element of like aesthetically pleasing vibes onto your page.
Okay. Gotcha.
Y'all already know I'm all about working smarter and not harder, especially when it comes to marketing your brand. And if you're still relying only on social media to reach your audience, we need to fix that immediately. Social media is cute, but let's be real, the algorithm is unpredictable, and your content is probably only reaching a small percentage of your followers. That's why I swear by email marketing, because when I send an email, I know 100% of my subscribers are getting my messages. And the best part, Flowdesk makes it ridiculously easy. You can send beautiful on-brand emails, automate your sequences, and even create landing pages without needing to be tech savvy. And because you're listening, I got you a deal. Use my code SIDEHUSTLE at checkout and you'll get 50% off your Flowdesk subscription for the next 12 months. So if you're ready to stop relying on algorithms and start building an email list that actually converts, try Flowdesk for free. And don't forget to use the code SIDEHUSTLE at checkout for that exclusive 50% off. Okay, and then the last thing that I kind of want to get into is the content strategy, which I think that that's going to be absolutely amazing. So, since you're wanting to focus more so on skincare,
Mm-hmm.
I think that you should do some educational content where you're talking about things that people don't know about their skin. We sometimes, when we're experts in our industry, we just assume that these are like second nature things, but there's several things that people don't know about your industry where you can basically fill the gap with your content. So maybe you're talking about, different moisturizers, or like why Black women need SPF, or which SPF they need, or what
Okay.
moisturizers work best, or the one thing that I struggle with is like knowing the order of how I'm supposed to do my skincare. And so I
Okay.
think utilizing or creating content, educational content, not only does it show that you are educated in this space, but it also helps people when they land on your page to see you as an expert, and then also seals the deal for them to take the next step to book because they see that you take this serious.
Okay.
Another thing that I would say you could do is before and after content. So I know that you have some makeup looks. You work with a couple of celebrities that you've done their makeup. I think incorporating like behind the scenes where you're basically, capturing content of the process of you, doing one of your services. So maybe that's someone coming in for a facial. You're showing their before, you're showing the process of you doing the facial, and then you show their skin after. Also with the
Okay.
makeup application, that would be really good because it kind of gives insight on like what your what your level of expertise is when it comes to your makeup artistry, and then also with your facials that you provide. It gives people something to expect, or they're able to see like what it's like to work with you and how you actually work and perform your services.
Okay.
And then my last thing is incorporating testimonials. So, testimonials are one of the things a lot of people don't think about creating content about. But if you could create testimonials of people, like, say, for instance, like you said at the beginning, where you like seeing their reaction to your facials or to your makeup, I think being able to capture them in that moment, because typically when we get our makeup done, like, we're feeling ourselves, okay? And we'll
Mm-hmm.
get with any camera. So if you can say, hey, can I grab a quick testimonial? How do you like your makeup? What do you love most about it? Things of that sort, and capture them right then and there instead of waiting, hours after they've already sweated through their makeup or do whatever. I think that that would do a lot of things of being able to, one, help your potential client be able to see the final look, but then also showing people that, people love your product and love your services. So
Okay.
using client testimonials is definitely going to be another way that you can kind of convert people that land on your page to actually being able to be a paying client. And then my last one that I wanted to also hit on, and this is kind of optional, but if you could show yourself behind the brand. So meaning, like, like you're saying right now, you're in the process of, doing brows so that you can be able to build out your skin product suite. So if you're showing people, like, your process of making your products, or, you like what goes on behind the scene. Maybe you're cleaning your suite space, or maybe you're, working on admin stuff, and then just showing people like the reality of what it's like to run your business. People can connect with that, and they love to see stuff
Okay.
like that because they can feel like they can relate to what it is that you do. So if you can incorporate some content that shows you behind the brand and really just like be authentically you, don't feel like you have to be glam all the time. Like, people love when I show up ragged with a bonnet on and I'm like, y'all, today is a hard day. So I use that as a way of just showing authentically who you are as an entrepreneur. And then
Okay.
that will help to build a connection between your audience and your brand.
Okay.
And that is pretty much all of the tips that I have. So do you have any questions for me or anything about that I've mentioned before?
No, you pretty much covered everything. Again, I'm trying to get more business, like behind the scenes business, because I'm more of just a worker. So
Mhm.
some questions I just don't know what to ask because I'm just so used to doing the work. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to kind of like come back from out of that space. So far you have given me some ideas and you have reiterated some things that I know I should have been doing and I'm not doing it. So you just said it lets me know that I need to do it. And no, I think that's it as far as questions.
Awesome. Well, I love that. And I'm was able to help you. I did want to say some other things that you could kind of consider down the line is like implementing your mailing list. I don't know if you have an email list, but
No.
if you don't, then you can definitely start building your email list of people that already book your services. That way you can kind of get people that have already experienced you back into your business. So say if you're running a March promotion, like, oh, I'm doing facials and makeup, for this price, like, oh, come get service. The books are available, or, whatever it is, however your process is. But I think utilizing your mailing list will help you to be able to kind of have like your marketing efforts on autopilot, because it's not like you having to reinvent the wheel. These are people that have already spent their money with you,
Okay.
that I would definitely consider. And then also, if you haven't collaborated with local influencers in your area to kind of help, get your brand out there, that's another thing that you could do to kind of get
Okay.
more people to know that you exist and know that your packages are out there, know that your products are out there. And so I would always tell people, if you can, like, connect with local influencers to try your products and either post about them or just tag you on their stories, that definitely helps out as well.
Okay. All right. Try, post, and tag. Okay.
And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity, or even trusting me to be able to, take a look at your social media and help you out in that way.
Yes, thank you. I really, really appreciate your time. And just really opening up my eyes to some things. And as entrepreneurs, girl, sometimes it just be ups and downs, and I'm just trying and trying and trying. So this conversation right here just kind of like gave me a new little light and a new little spark. So now I
Yes,
have something else that I can work on to help improve my business. So
I love that.
absolutely, thank you.
I love that. And I'm glad I could do that for you. So I look forward to seeing you on Instagram and seeing all the things. And definitely, if I'm in New Orleans, I will definitely check you out.
Yes, please do.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Side Hustler Podcast. I hope you're leaving here today feeling inspired and ready to take your next step. If you love this episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another side hustler who needs to hear it. And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at Carly Dorlin. I'd love to hear about your side hustling journey. Remember, you're doing better than you think, and your dreams are so worth it. Until next time, keep hustling, sis. You got this.